I think everyone who's trying to do something great with their life truly underestimates the power of consistency and showing up day after day after day after day. Um, I think when we're trying to grow and make changes in our life, so many of us, myself included, right? We get this burst of inspiration. We're going to say, I'm going to change everything, right? I'm going to switch this up. I'm going to make massive change in my life, and things are going to be different. And what you find, if you've ever gone through that, I'm sure you have, is that motivation, that inspiration sort of peters off, and we fall back into our own ways, our old ways, and we say, like, well, I failed there, and the actions I took, they didn't prevail into the outcome that I wanted, and it can be very defeating. And what's alive for me right now is really just this, like the true power of consistency, and not like a massive change of consistency. It's just showing up daily with an intention of understanding what it is that you want to achieve or produce or create in this world, whether it's with your work or your health or your relationships. When we show up and do something every day, like that's how you learn. And I think that's where a lot of us again fall short, is we think we need to be perfect and we need to know how to do something or be a certain way right away, right? And we can use any amount of metaphors here, like going to the gym. It's like you can go and you can have a really intense workout. You can work out for 2 hours and like push yourself to the limits. And if you expect your body to change after that one workout, you're going to be sorely let down. And I think that is a beautiful metaphor for anything that we want to do in our life, especially like skill building, right? Like in the age of immediate gratification, there's this linked expectation with ourselves where we want to see immediate results when it comes to developing a skill that we want to learn to improve our life or livelihood or what have you. And if it doesn't come fast enough, it's like we get super bummed and disappointed. Like, why can't I master this thing? It's like I've already been doing it for a week, whatever, and we get let down. And for myself, I feel like I go through these different rhythms in my life, and right now I find myself incredibly consistent in a ton of areas of my life. And when you're consistent in one area, I find that consistency creeps over into the other areas of your life, and it sort of supports consistency everywhere. And I think what is really important is just to remain grounded and just keep showing up, right? Don't say, oh, hey, like, we sort of have things moving along. It's that idea that this isn't we're not just being consistent for a month to be consistent. We're changing the way that we live our lives so that we can show up consistently and continually grow, right? It's that idea of like continuous growth, continuous innovation in our own life, just through showing up and doing the practices or the rituals or the activities or actions in our daily life, which we know are going to continually move us forward in our life to ultimately, to have the life and that we know we can have deep down inside. And so, whether it's just showing up and trying to be 1% better than you were yesterday in one area of your life, if we take that approach with intentionality, I believe that all of us start to accelerate in the direction that we've intentionally set for ourselves. And I think that is a little bit like getting into flow state, right? It's like you were doing all of the things or most of the things that are really good for you, that feed your creative side, that feed your spiritual side, that feed the physical nature of your body. And things in your life start to change because your perspective changes, right? You start trusting yourself when you start showing up for yourself with consistency and being really deterministic about how you're going to approach that, right? And again, it doesn't have to be a huge time investment. When you keep on showing up for yourself, you start to trust yourself, and your relationship with yourself changes. And when your relationship with yourself changes, your relationship with others change, because you are walking around with a different vibration, right? It's like you know there's this you are vibing with yourself different, and I think that truly does radiate to all the other areas of your life, and people take notice, and they want what you're putting out there. And again, this all just comes down from, you know, consistency and really having integrity with your own word when you say, hey, like, this is what's important to me. This is what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to create in this world. And then showing up and just taking the actions and doing it. And you know, that sounds super easy and super straightforward. And one of the rebuttals that I always hear is like, well, hey, like, I don't know what I want. And I can say that because that's my rebuttal to myself is, oh, I don't really know what I want. But you know, that's total BS. I think we do know what we want. It's just our external, our ego, the parts of us that are here to keep us safe are just really loud and really convincing and super manipulative. And they convince us that we actually don't know what we want, because what we think that we want is too hard to attain. It's out of reach. We're never going to get there. So we need to find something that's safer, more secure, and more attainable, which, you know, again, which is BS, because life is the pursuit of purpose and the pursuit of passion and outcome, right? Like, you know, talk to anyone who's ever done anything, and the destination is just, right? It's just another day, and potentially has the reverse effect on your being and your mindset. So when we get engaged in creating what it is we want to achieve, even if it was what we want to achieve is, you know, is far too big for our ability, it's like, that's okay, because we're in the pursuit of something, and that's exciting, and we can get into that state of fulfillment and love and achievement and bliss through consistency and creativity and showing up and, you know, just going for what we want, because I think we all know what we want. You can probably ask yourself right now, you'll have an immediate answer, and then another voice will come up and say, hey, that's not actually what you want, because that's too hard. And if you can't achieve it, then that's not what you want, right? Because we all want to give ourselves what we want. So yeah, I think the power of consistency and showing up and just, you know, being 1% better than you are the day before is a really powerful way to approach life. And, you know, cut out the noise, be able to realize which voice is your true voice, and which voice are the parts of you that are trying to keep you safe, or or the ego that's trying to keep you small. And yeah, I wish you well in your endeavors.